His name is Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. He's declared himself an enlightened master, and he's the founder of what even he calls the religionless religion of Rajneeshism. Because he's promised these disciples a spiritual utopia, hundreds of thousands of them have willingly given up their lives to become submissive servants to the man they call Master. Americans watched him with growing apprehension. They had seen the tragic work of other man-made gods. This man so twisted the minds of his followers that they killed themselves and their children in a monstrous mass suicide. Believing in Jim Jones' promise of a spiritual utopia, the victims of this human disaster willingly sacrificed themselves to a man they believed was an enlightened, living God. They called him Dad, and their devotion was complete.
You have saved my life so many times, Dad. I would die for you right now, Dad.
For the love of Jim Jones and their commune family, death seemed an easy price to pay, even for the children.
I'm prepared to die for this family if I have to for freedom. Thank you, Dad.
In the next few hours, 911 of the faithful would swallow poison or be shot at Dad's order. Jones, without the courage to take poison himself, begged to be shot instead. He told his disciples that fascist government troops were coming to get them. There were no troops, but like Hitler before him, Jones knew he could maintain control by creating an outside enemy, an us-against-them atmosphere of fear and paranoia. Angrily, he had challenged the non-existent enemy.
If by any chance you would make a mistake to try to come in and take any one of us, we will not let you. You will die. You will have to take anybody over all of our dead bodies.
Today, Jim Jones is gone, but his spirit, his raging paranoia lives on, reborn not in the jungles of South America, but in the gently rolling hills of Oregon.
They touch any of our people, one of our person, I will have 15 of their heads, and I mean business.
Both Jones and Rajneesh share inescapable parallels with another charismatic figure. The German people made Hitler a god without creating a religion. He became a messiah with his own twisted cross, a savior with his own holy book, a pope with his own black priesthood. Like Rajneesh and Jones, Hitler promised a utopian world. An entire society sacrificed their freedom and their lives to serve him. Both Hitler and Rajneesh have advocated selective breeding and encouraged sterilization. The Führer dreamed of breeding a superior master race, bringing death to those who stood in the way of his fantasy. As the man they called the spiritual teacher of the new Germany spun out his fanatic nightmare, he reminded us once again of a hard truth. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Hitler and Jones are dead, but now another master of the master race has appeared. A new dance has begun, and the fragrance of death is in the air. Even as one self-proclaimed god passed into history in Guyana, another was stepping forward to take his place in India. Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. called the disco sex guru by the Indian press, held Jim Jones blameless for the deaths of his followers. Those who were really responsible, he said, were the organized religions, including Christianity. Christians have always come in for special attention from Rajneesh.
The Christian church has destroyed all intellectual freedom in the West. It is not an accident that fascism, Nazism, communism, all three dangerous dictatorial trends of this century are outcomes of Christianity.
Rajneesh is anti-Christian, he says, but not anti-Jesus. He explains the apparent contradiction.
When you call Jesus, really you have called me. When you call me, really you have called Jesus.
While most Christians would find such a claim outrageous and offensive, the Guru's devotees, called sannyasins, probably found it reassuring. Eckhart Flüter, a former sannyasin from Germany, explains why.
I believe some seek some kind of a spirituality which can be experienced and not just thought of. Some are in a crisis. Some are in a process of growing. Some have authority conflicts.
Often dissatisfied with their own lives and seeking a more meaningful spiritual experience, thousands of affluent Westerners traveled to India to see if God was really living there. Many stayed on to become sannyasins. Another ex-sannyasin, American Rosalind Smith, tells what she observed.
There are multiple reasons why people are attracted to Rajneesh. I met many people who were going through their midlife crisis, who felt a disillusionment with their work. They sought a new ideal, a new sense of fulfillment.
Dr. John Wally, a successful Midwestern physician, was one of these.
I was a workaholic. I made a lot of money. I had my my share of fame and recognition, and it seemed like the more I got, the less satisfying it was.
While many came seeking to fill a spiritual vacuum in their lives, many others came because they'd heard that Rajneesh encouraged unrestricted sex as a path to spiritual enlightenment.
The attraction for sex is attraction for God.
People are encouraged to have sex with everybody in the group, even male with male, female with female, and especially with those people you don't like at all.
If self-indulgent promiscuity could be rationalized as a search for God, it still had unhappy side effects.
People have been sexually and physically abused. I have seen that a girl was raped. I have seen people who had to get sterilized. I have seen people who had an abortion because they were pregnant.
Despite abortions, sterilizations, and rampant venereal disease, new